Hello, everyone. So the question is, should you self-publish or go with traditional publisher? Meaning find an agent who will find you a publisher who will give you a contract. I am going to give you the straightforward, brutal facts. So listen up. First, money. It's very important. Self-published authors earn typically 70 to 80% of royalties on their book sales. Now, that is a general number just to give you an idea. Compared to traditional publishers who offer you 10 to 15%. But there are pros and cons on both sides. Self publishing requires an upfront investment. You have to invest, first of all, in your own writing capacity, in your HR capacity, since you will need to hire and delegate some of the things that go into creating a book, as well into things like cover design, formatting, marketing. It's a very big one. If you want to find out more about this breakdown and get a realistic assessment, please do check out my self-paced pre-recorded course at the link below, where you will find some fascinating information. Now, with traditional publishing, it is the publisher that carries these costs. And typically, you get an advance, which can be, again, I just want to give a general number between 2,000 and maybe 20,000 for a first time author, unless you can convince the publisher that you have the next blockbuster, in which case they may give you a higher advance. But before you start to earn royalties, your book must make the advance back first. Okay? So, a publisher holds a lot of responsibility in producing, editing, and marketing the book. That has led many to believe that because they are so bright and the publisher has chosen to work with them, they will make money. And that is wrong. Okay. But you're going to put all this effort into your book. You're going to get super excited. You're going to invest yourself psychologically into it, expecting that you will make money because you have a professional publishing company with a reputable publishing house. That, my dear friend, is wrong. If the publisher finds that your book is not making money, it will go to the bottom of their list, which means you will be looked over, ignored, and eventually forgotten. Okay? Now, the reason why your book may not end up doing well is because it could be even the publisher's fault because they did something wrong in the production process. It may have nothing to do with you. It is a business decision. The process, my friend, has no transparency. It is intransparent. You give your, what could be your life's work, over to somebody in the hope and sincere belief it will make you money, thinking you have a guarantee because you have a publishing contract, but it is an intransparent business. Publishing is a cold cash business. If the publisher, for whatever reason which they would hardly ever communicate to you, finds that your book is not living up to the amazing standards that you have set for yourself for many reasons, you will go to the bottom of the list and no one will tell you that. Okay, they may continue to be very polite and friendly, and you may continue to be handled with white glove treatment because they don't want to upset you, but your sales may be zero and forget about ever writing a book again. That's sort of the underlying message. I am not being cruel, I'm not exaggerating, I am just painting a very realistic picture of what can happen. Okay, next thing you have to factor in is the time. You're a creative person, you are an entrepreneur, you are somebody who wants to do the marketing and does the research, is writing the books. You have to know that before your book can end up with a professional publishing contract, something up to 2 years can pass because you gotta first complete the book, right? It is not realistic to think that anything will happen just because you have the most brilliant idea on planet Earth. You first must complete your book. Then you have to find an agent, which can take 6 months up to 2 years. Then the agent must find a publisher, which can take another 6 months up to 2 years. And that puts us already at 4 years. Then the publisher has to negotiate a contract with you. Could be another year. Now, think about how many books could you, entrepreneurial person, have written in these 4 to 5 years and figured out the marketing for. Okay? Now, you're already thinking, well, why the heck would anybody want to go with traditional publishing? Precisely because of the many perks that come with that. A publisher has already their established sales lines, their distribution lines, long and set and very well established. They can sell massive amounts of copies of your book if they want to. But again, we're going to be very realistic. It is a completely intransparent process, and you will never be in any position to force any publisher to make those stellar sales for you. So don't deceive yourself. Question has yet to be answered. Then why would anybody go with traditional publishing? Because it sounds like with the requisite marketing ability, entrepreneurial spirit, and time investment, and the other investments that, again, if you want to take a closer look at, please do check out my course. You can do as well as any traditional publisher, and that in the abstract is true. But if you are a public persona, a public figure who is very busy, let's say you are a scientist of some renown, you are a politician, you are a public speaker, you are somebody with an established persona that attracts sales, that attracts money already. In that case, it does obviously make sense for you to go with traditional publishing. Also, if your topic happens to be a big money making attraction, I have seen situations where people who were not big public personas did get a traditional publishing contract and did actually pretty well, but their topic was so superbly researched and vetted and gone through for many years by themselves that they had gotten it to the point where they could make it into a superb money maker, the topic. And then the individual sort of got promoted along with the book by the traditional publisher. Okay, you will notice as a smart person, these can sound to you to be extreme circumstances, but they do happen. Now, do you want to look more into the self publishing route and at the many steps required that you can take so that you can eventually sell like a traditional publisher? Again, please do check out my humble little course. Can provide some very helpful information. I want to close with giving an example of a friend of mine, and I'm going to present to you a situation that you never should want to be in. Okay, so this lady has a very high intellectual aptitude. She's just by nature an intellectual. And she and I chatted about her potentially checking out my course to learn some of the self publishing steps. And this was not about money at all. And because of this highly intellectual nature that she has by birth, it's a talent that she has, there comes a certain arrogance with that. And I'm not taking that personal because I know that. And she, for that reason, was not willing to check out my course because she already knew what she has to do. She knows she has to hire a cover designer. She knows she needs to go on KDP Amazon and she has to publish the book. So she thought to herself, I don't need this course. So our ways parted. I knew she was working on her book. Then I saw her make social media posts. Hey, my book's coming out. The cover went to the cover designer. I'm super excited. And I was very confident because I know she is this intellectually outstanding individual. And I was also very excited to see what would end up happening with her book. And then the social media posts stopped. And after about 3 weeks, suddenly a loud yell, my book's for free, my book's for free. Everybody go on Amazon, grab my book, it's for free. Now, I know because of experience that when an author starts advertising their book for free, the book is not selling. It's a very bad sign. So I decided to check out this book. And I went to Amazon and oh my God, the cover looked like the back of a highway billboard. Her author's picture on the back looked like a senior high school prom picture. And I, because I know her and I care for her, I opened the book and I started reading. And I was, wow, she really wrote a brilliant book. I mean, in keeping with her superb intellectual abilities, but nobody who doesn't know her is, after they have that disastrous encounter with the cover, and then they see this author's picture where she looks like she's trying to looking for, I don't mean to be insulting, but trying to find a date on the high school prom. Um, Nobody is going to be looking inside that book. It's very disappointing and very disturbing. She is the kind of person who would have done well with a traditional publisher. Okay? But because she refused any and all help, due to this brilliant intellectual nature that she has, her first book, which could have been an astounding success, and I'm not saying that to exaggerate, I'm saying because it's truly on an outstanding topic that nobody will know anything about because nobody will look into this disastrous packaging. Instead of being this outstanding result, it ended up being wastewater under the bridge. Okay, so lesson learned. I've presented here to you very honestly, very brutally, the pros and cons of doing your own self publishing, what that takes. Want to know more? Please do check out my course. It's not about money, it's a very sincere kind offer to help. Do not end up with a product that doesn't sell and that could easily have sold had you only followed the steps and the kind of people who do well with traditional publishing. Wish you the best of luck in your publishing endeavors and see you again next week with more super hot self publishing advice.